the battle between MTN Nigeria and Dangote Cement as the largest company on the stock exchange. That battle started in May when MTN Nigeria Communications PLC was listed. So the rivalry is still making the headlines. We'll get to that in a couple of minutes. But first, let's check in on our debt market with Chioma Udu, who's a fixed income dealer at GT Bank, live to us from FMDQ Exchange Place. Chioma, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Boason. Thank you for having me.
Great. I was scared and I saw the numbers of the Treasuries market yesterday. I'm sure you've seen that in the news already, how the market was. Bring us up to speed on the numbers.
Okay, Boason, I'll start with the morning market. We've seen those numbers on the Treasury bill space because of the shortage we have in liquidity in the market. Coming into the market this week, the system opened short. So we've seen a lot of liquidity play where we've seen banks and investors rediscount their bills to generate liquidity for their needs. We saw rates trend up to 15 to 14, 15 across the T-bill curve, basically on the short end of the curve where we basically see the liquidity play in the system.
Okay. So what's the result of the bond auction? Any idea where investors are leaning at the moment?
Okay, the bond auction is today. 145 billion is on offer, with 30 years being the longest tenor on offer. We expect that the yields will come out at current market levels, which is currently at about 14.5. We expect that we're going to see a lot of interest because it's a welcome development for investors from the lows of 13 to about 14%. So we're going to see a lot of interest. That will help as well with the FX liquidity because we're going to see investors try to sell their dollars to invest in the bond issues.
Okay, so let me play the devil's advocate. I'm looking at 14.6 and seeing close to 15%. Where is the yield on treasuries going? Any likelihood we hit 18% before year end?
Honestly, it's unlikely because why we see these highs right now is because the money market is currently short for now. But we expect a lot of liquidity coming into the system next week. We have FAC posting coming in next week, and we have OMO maturities of about 395 billion coming in next week. So the system is going to be quite liquid next week. So it's going to help in the moderation of the yields.
Yeah, and,
so
and
I
the
don't
central
see
bank
18
will
in
be
the near
waiting for
term.
and the central bank is waiting for all of this money coming through.
Yes, we expect that it will come and retap and just mop up the liquidity.
Okay, so in terms of the currencies market, can you take a look at the I&E window for us?
The I&E window is currently trading at about 363.5 levels. It got to a high of 364 coming in this week because of the liquidity. But because of the auction we have this week, the bonds auction, we've seen a moderation in rates. We've seen liquidity start creeping into the system. The central bank as well has intervened in the market through wholesale and retail, and then some intervention funds. So we've seen liquidity come into the market, and we're currently at 363 levels.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's leave it there for today. Thank you so much, Chioma Udu from GT Bank, one of the fixed income dealers. Do have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's nice to have you. Of course, the FMDQ, Securities Exchange PLC, has since reconfirmed the data we showed you earlier on, and which, of course, Temple Ashaju spoke about a bit earlier, about the Treasury bills market data for yesterday. 4 most actively traded Treasury bills. We showed you those numbers. The Treasury bills maturing the 31st of October 2019, to discount high of 14.65%. That figure was 2.24 billion naira and not 2.24 trillion naira as earlier reported. And you can see the correction there now coming through at the top of the table there. You can see that 31st October 2019, 14.65%, 2.24 billion naira with just one transaction there, or one deal done yesterday. That figure seems to be revised. The FMDQ Securities Exchange says that was a typographical error, so that gives us a chance to take a second look at the entire data for yesterday for Treasury bills secondary trading. Thank you, folks at FMDQ, for making that correction and putting them through to us as we go live on the show within the last hour. But let's wrap up the show. Temple Ashaju is there at the stock exchange trading floor trying to find out the big fight between the big boys, Dangote Cement on one hand and MTN on the other. This was a fight, or what's it called? Well, the struggle. Put it that way. Bear in mind, struggle that started since MTN was listed. So who is the biggest boy on the trading floor right now? Definitely you are not the one. So.
Question to the investors, boss, and I'm just a market watcher here. So, but then the investors, cause they are the ones actually doing the cross dealings, doing the tossing between each other like a table tennis, bouncing it back and forth. I mean, these are the two big boys actually have in the market. So we can't really say if this is the one that will determine the direction of the market anymore. Because way back, it used to be Dangote Cement. Whenever Dangote Cement heads, that's where the market usually heads. But this time, we're seeing the MTN going this way. And of course, Dangote Cement goes this way. Then you see the whole sector's moving as par. And then the investor sentiment also moves as par. Yesterday, for example, we saw the market down 0.21%. And of course, all the sectoral performances was actually green. But look at what the key benchmark indices showed. It was in red. Investors' sentiment in the market, talking about the market breadth now, was positive. We saw more buyers than sellers in the market yesterday. At the end of the day, you see the different directions was where the market headed. But as we speak right now, things are looking bullish again, given the fact that prices are really low. A lot of stocks in the market are trading at their lowest point in some 52 weeks. That's what folks, analyst firms are telling us right now. If you look at yesterday, the fact that UACN, for example, experienced some, wasn't a bid cut. It hadn't been a bid cut for so long, as opposed to offer that it had been for some time. This is a stock that used to trade at 10 Naira for some time, but now you find it below around 4 Naira, 5 Naira. So yesterday we saw some 908 basis points movement on this particular company, and that tells you that investors are really taking advantage of the low price valuation that we're seeing in the market, because again,
a quick one, Tempo.
With what the fiscal authorities are doing, we kind of have a sense of what the direction in terms of policy now.
Yes, Tempo, quick one before we go. The Nigerian Insurance Association closed the market yesterday, Tuesday. What did they say about this recapitalization program? Any new thing we're learning about the insurance sector and what the sector regulator wants to achieve by the end of first half of next year?
So we met with Mr. Tokwet Smart yesterday. That's the president of the Nigerian Insurers Association, confirming the fact that there could be they are in talks with the regulators NICOM now for an extension beyond that June 2020. Even though the operators are positive about the whole recapitalization exercise. They met with the management of the stock exchange, had a brief chat with the stockbroking community, telling them that some of the companies will be floating, doing some kind of capital raising exercise. Some might want to increase their share capital in the market by offering some kind of a rights issue or private placement. And some might even want those that are not listed in the market, because there are 59 insurance companies actually in the Nigerian market here. He said that some of them that are not listed will be currently indicating interest in coming to the market. So we might see maybe a public offer or listing by introduction eventually, Bosun.
Yes, that's some of the images from yesterday's closing bell on the market by the insurers. It's a good time for them to come to the market. You ask me, Tempo, they come to put their mouth where their money is and vice versa, yeah. Trying to rally support. I'm sure they came to rally support of the traders for the recapitalization, just in case NICOM says, sorry, we're sticking with June 2020. We're not moving an inch. You guys go and recapitalize. So they need to come to the market traders and have some of those handshakes there very quickly, just in case.
Yeah, correct, Bosun. Again, you know that Mr. Tokwet Smart actually confirmed that yes, there's a bit of liquidity constraint in the system at this point. He is positive. However, the level of bullishness, if you place on the scale of 10, is around 5, 6. Okay. So that's why they will be seeking extension, and that's why they're in talks with them.
Temple,
if you look at
thank you so much, Temple. I'm sure you had an interview with the president of the NIA. That will be part of our news at the top of the hour. Thank you so much, Temple Ashaju, for wrapping up the show for us today, and to our viewers here in Nigeria and around the world. We'll see you again tomorrow, Thursday, the 22nd. Have a great day, and bye from Lagos.